Well, good evening, everyone. The dear leader isn't here. He is not here today. He is very much otherwise engaged, watching hopefully his side lose in football tonight. Fingers crossed, because we all want to see Tottenham go down. But welcome everyone to the live lounge here on Monday, the 11th of May, 8 o'clock in the UK, 3 o'clock on the Eastern Seaboard, midday in the West Coast of America. And it is about 6 o'clock in the morning in Australia and wherever else as well you're watching throughout the world on the Online Darts YouTube channel. Welcome.
The world clock widget is alive and well on your laptop, I see.
It really is, mate. It really is. I'm in charge. Who's in charge tonight? It's me. I'm not going to do the rest of that meme, otherwise we'll get cancelled.
Dear me, the lunatic.
There we go. But there we go. It is Jonathan Eaton. It is Dan Simpson. But delightfully, Deirdre's with us. Cameron, hello. What are you doing on a Monday night?
How are we doing? Well, we thought the boss is away. We might as well go full chaos and just turn it into a ridiculous 2 hours of nonsense. So here I am.
If you're expecting, accurate darts analysis, folks, buckle up.
Not what
when have you ever delivered that on this show?
Not the role that I perform in this team.
Because this could be a show for the ages. Yeah, in more ways than one.
American Dave is with us. Dad's out of town. Let's get weird. This is what it is. Dad's away. The club's away.
Get him on as well. We'll get everyone on.
This show could be anything tonight as well, folks. And I would suggest that what it's least likely to be is a dart show. That's probably
yes.
It could be genuinely. It could be anything. It could be cricket. It could be the boxing from the weekend. Could be VAR very well. It could be, who knows, throughout the course of the evening, an analysis of who is going to be the next Prime Minister of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So who's to say what can come in the next couple of hours? Could be anything.
The traders are taking bets, and Dart Show is the longest odds right now. You could probably get about 20 to 1 at that, in all fairness.
Do not back it, though. If you put £10 on that, you have lost £10.
Hey. Yeah, 100%. Episode 247. And the title that Barzi's asked is could MvG miss the slam? We will come on to that. There is a genuine possibility.
That, especially when he's not here.
Yeah.
Can I just point out, folks, it's going to be a short conversation.
Yeah, it's a genuinely a big moment because for the first time ever, Michael Van Gerwen could list. Well, certainly certainly in the Sky era, Michael Van Gerwen could miss the Grand Slam. This is a big moment. We will talk about that a lot. We will also discuss, unfortunately, the Premier League because it is still going on. And we will talk about that because we are going to the best city in the. Oh, even I can't say that with a straight face. We are going to Birmingham.
Nobody wants to go to Birmingham. Literally nobody. I'm going to go near to it to play golf, and that's enough.
You're just about on the outskirts of it, you two, this week as well. So I'm sure you'll be happy about that. Another Northern Irishman won a green jacket, but without the fact of the Masters music in the background, which is really shameful, to be honest, from the Austrian Darts Open. You should have the Masters music 100% when you're giving out the green jacket. We'll talk about that. And also probably some other shit as well of old as well.
We'll talk about another Northern Irishman at some point as well, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, there's some... He's on the agenda.
or not a Northern Irishman, as the case may be.
I do what I do get looked for now. And so first of all, anything.
Sorry, I'm going in early. He's basically pulled a Jarlath as Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I did wonder when that would come. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited on two fronts. First of all, there is no better company than you two within which to discuss Irish citizenship, like whether or not someone qualifies as Irish. This is without doubt like the best environment. But also, as much as, and I'm sure we'll get it in the chat room because I've seen it all over social media today, even in our little WhatsApp groups in Team OD, I've heard these grumpy, just funless, boring people going, "Oh, I hate the World Cup. It's rubbish. World Cup is brilliant."
Again.
Yeah, the World Cup is absolutely brilliant. And we are now at the point of the year where we can talk less about the Premier League and more about the World Cup. And this is the year. It's quite beautiful because we'll talk loads about the Premier League. And just as we get bored of that, we talk about the World Cup. And then when that's done, we talk about the match play. It's brilliant. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think genuinely, if me and you start talking about the World Cup and our love for it, we could make Jonathan Eaton quit before Keir Starmer.
it could be a race.
It's not a bad shout. Look, I'll have it, right? I can't wait for the 6-week break that I'm going to have on the live lounge because it means I don't have to talk about the World Cup because I just personally don't get the appeal of pairs darts. I just personally don't like the fact that we've got another exhibition on television before another ranked event, but that's just me.
That's because you are a sort of nomadic. Your nomadic citizenship. You just attach yourself to any nation that you find. Like that's why you can't get behind like playing for your country.
He's got no affiliation to anyone where he would love to pull on the jersey.
You see what that is? That's me leaving it outside off stump. I'm not taking the nibble early. Not yet. You got to have to get up a lot earlier.
I thought you'd be all for it, to be honest, because it's the only World Cup where you're going to get to see Ireland.
That's not true. We're there in the Rugby World Cup.
Is.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Dave also comes up there. World Cup post-match show should be named the Fallout Jar for that weekend. Yep, good. Like it. Very good. Let's go to the chat room before we get going. Sam, hello. We've got Wayne as well with us. We've got Scott. We've got Owen. Kay is in as always. Good to see you. Daniel as well is in. Mark, one of our OD members, is in as well. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, like and subscribe to the channel. Join us as a member as well because you get a load of different perks as well alongside that. Link is in the bio to do that. We've got AB and Floor with us. Hello. Warren is in with us as well. Good evening to you, Paul. Chelsea's in there as well. Adam is in. We've got Rob. We've got we've also got two Robs. Always good. As we already said, American Dave is in with us as well. James as well. We got Wayne. We got Voodoo with us as well. Timo from New York. Very good afternoon to you, my friend. Good to speak to you again. There's plenty in there. Big John. Well, that's right. Absolutely. Big Johnny's always here, as he always is. Good to have you with my friend Dylan as well. Plenty of others as well alongside. Nels is there. Is Phil at the Tottenham game? Yes, he is. He is currently being wined and dined at the Tunnel Club. So please, I have never said this before.
I feel like it's one of those places that I'd love to go to. I've been to Spurs. The Tunnel Club, I imagine, is unbelievable. I've seen some of the pictures from Phil. But as a Spurs fan, the last place I'd want to be right now is at the lane or whatever you want to call 100%.
It now. I've never... We are all Leeds, though, aren't we, today? Everyone.
Do you know what? I will never say this again. I will never say this again.
Never, ever will I be one of them Yorkshire people.
I will never, ever say this again. But come on, Leeds. Do it for the pure fun of it. It's amazing. Yeah. Joel is also with us as well.
Like, let's be honest, West Ham aren't staying up above them anyway. So the fun of that has gone out the window now anyway.
And FDI as well is with us as well, beyond the 90. And there's loads of people. Good to have you with us as we get going then with another live lounge. We've padded this out for 10 minutes. Let's get cracking, shall we? Gents, where do we want to start? Which non-ranked exhibition roadshow do you want to talk about first?
You are
you can go wherever you want to go tonight, sir.
You're in charge this evening. You are the chair.
Okay, shall we get the Irish jokes out the way then, and shall we talk about the World Cup? Because I think that is probably the biggest.
You think they're going to end there? That's bold.
No, I think he's what he's doing there is he's not giving me enough time to reload. That's what he's doing. I'm still changing magazines, and he's going straight back out. Like that's where he's at. He's
Correct.
Not giving me. Not often. He knows I keep one in the chamber, and he's.
Correct. That might go.
We mentioned it now, so go on.
Where are we going? So, which of our dominions are we starting? Are we going to Northern Ireland? Or are we going to Wales? Because there's a bit of a shock on two fronts, isn't there today?
I think probably the biggest shock. I wouldn't call Gezi pulling out a shock because when we come to the Premier League, we'll discuss why at the moment. Like, I mean, you said it for a while, Daniel, and I'll give you credit for it that he is not safe, and he's certainly not safe now. But we've always talked about that back injury that has been playing up for a couple of months now. So, in my opinion, pulling out the World Cup when you've already won it does it, and you're already in the Slam. Does it make a difference
for him and his body? It's the right choice.
Right? Can we not call bollocks on it though? If you're going to pull out with a bad back and go and do an activity on the telly instead that involves constantly bending over and standing back up again. Because is he not going to play pool that week instead?
Is he?
I don't think it's that week, is it? Is it?
But to be fair, regardless of whether it's that week or not, if he's still doing that when he's supposedly resting his back and getting his back in the right shape, then yeah, that excuse kind of goes out the window a little bit.
Like if your diary's busy and your back's bad, right? Then fine, I get it. Like your diary's busy and your back's bad. You need a break. You need to manage your diary. You need to choose what you're going to play in and what you're not going to play in. But for me, I just think like the narrative breaks down a little bit if you are not playing events that are, let's say, part of the PDC calendar, but you are still playing on the exhibition circuit and taking bookings. And you're also going to go and play a pool, which is, I would perhaps counter, could be less rest for your back than darts might be.
Someone who plays both and has got a relatively ropey back. I can't say that playing pool has ever really caused me particular issues.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it helps them. Like, you know,
it doesn't help the narrative, does it?
Regardless. I think if it was any other sport, if it was another sport, and the footballer pulled out of something, tennis player pulled, golfer, whatever, pulled out of something and said, "Well, you know what it is? I'm dead busy, and I've got no time to rest, and I've got the back problem." But then they were then going and doing that sport on like private bookings, basically. They were going and doing that in other situations, in other scenarios. I'm just not sure that it would wash.
It's a little bit like sort of, I don't know, an example of someone playing in the Premier League and pulling out of an England squad as all the Arsenal players did injured, but then going and playing football in someone's backyard that weekend. It's not really.
It doesn't smack to me of genuine.
Two things to point out here, as a lot of people pointed out in the chat room. He's posted on Instagram saying it's not for health reasons. Look, he might just have a case of can't be asked itis, and that's fine. If that's what you have, then that's what you have. I ain't got an issue with that. If you don't want to play that weekend, it's cool.
But if that is the case, own it, say it.
But the big thing is here, right? I said it at the start when I said he qualified for the Slam. He hasn't yet. He's not qualified for the Slam just yet. There's another person who hasn't qualified for the Slam, which we will talk about in a moment, which will lead on to it. But he hasn't qualified for the Slam yet, obviously. So the fact that last year, of course, he got into the Slam based on the fact that he was the World Cup runner-up, alongside Johnny. So why would you not try and take a shot at a tournament that, he hasn't won for a little while, but he's one of the most successful players in it. He's won it 3 times. I know that,
although he's not qualified, I assume he thinks he's pretty safe, to be honest.
Joel makes a point here in the chat room when he says he's won a Euro Tour, which 99% qualifies you. And yes, of course it does. I get that. But there might be a ridiculous scenario where we have loads of other winners over the next 12 months. It's not going to happen. So, hang on. What? The top 16 are in the Slam? FDI. I thought they changed that. I thought the top 16 hadn't gone in the Slam. The top 16 qualified. Yeah, the top 16 qualified. The top 16 players qualified will be seeded by PDC rankings, but I didn't think the top 16 automatically got in.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought that was how they seeded it rather than.
Yeah, I don't think they put the top 16 in there yet.
I also think you're right with that, but I'm happy to be told I'm wrong.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, like I say, with Gezi, obviously, it's a way to get in without sweating over the fact that of Littler hoovering up all the majors and Humphries hoovering up some majors too. That's what it is. And I know he's won a Euro Tour. But it doesn't automatically get you in. I appreciate it should do, and there is a scenario where, of course, it should do because one of the boys hoovering up all the majors, but it might not. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but also, realistically, I know Johnny's playing fairly well, but is he going to get in through the World Cup anyway?
Well, you got to think with that
pairing. It's also like there's a lot of one-man band teams, and often the one man's just a fucking bloke with the triangle in it, like in the World Cup. It's they are very, very strong in compared to a lot of the other teams. Like you have to. I mean, what do we think? Two teams. On paper, England are a better team than them, but we've seen that all fall to shit. And
last year was horrendous.
Arguably, the Dutch are a better team, but then both of them.
I don't know.
Well, exactly. This is it. Yeah. So, and who else? You know what I mean? Like, if all you're looking is for a final spot, where else do you go? If it's not England and it's not the Dutch, then it's the Welsh, isn't it? Really?
Well, they are one of the more successful pairings. Like, you look at it, they've won it twice. 2020, okay, was COVID, but also 2023, and they made the final last year. So it's
with
not
that
like they
pairing
don't,
as well. That's not just the country. Do you know what I mean? That is, it's those two lads. Not just anecdotally. Because we can say, well, Scotland won it, but that isn't the Scotland team anymore. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, also, sorry, mate. I'll just say one thing. FDI says, Lendl says, yeah, you guys are right. My bad. That is the first time we've ever managed to beat Lendl at something. I'll take that. What a way to start this show. No worries.
It was to get rid of Phil for a week.
Yeah, perfect. Sorry, mate. You were going to say something.
Someone said Belgium. Not Belgium. Yeah,
I think he's going for fishing there. I think he's trying to fish you outside your stump.
Depending on who the team is.
Well, obviously it's Mike the Dicker and Dimmy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not looking good. But yeah, you were going to say something there, Cameron. No, I apologise for interrupting you.
I have no idea what I was going to say now. I've forgotten. I got distracted by Belgium being a better team.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, like I say, so it is at the moment. It's going to be Johnny Clayton and Nick Kenny. That's the team at the moment. And no disrespect to Nick Kenny, but that Wales side obviously now has to go through the group stages rather than automatically getting through into round 2. The pairings now are England. Shock. They've got 2 players that may have done something. I'm not quite sure why they're number 1, to be honest. Luke Littler and Luke Humphries. Netherlands is going to be Jan van Veen for the first time in a long time. We are going to see Michael van Gerwen at the World Cup.
Which Northern Ireland numbers 3 and 4, by the way. Like, on paper.
Yeah, 100%. Northern Ireland have got Josh Rock and Daryl Gurney. And then Scotland has Gary Anderson coming back to World Cup and Cameron Menzies. Those are the 4 that will go through into round number 2. The big change, of course, is the Republic of Ireland. William O'Connor and Mickey Mansell. Which, now, how can I put this very delicately without... Okay. Obviously, I don't know if there's ever been any trouble between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland.
I was just going to say, how do we put this without restarting the troubles?
Yes.
Well, short of sending a couple of English over to play for them. I think
for God's sake. Quickly moving on. I am I'm a little bit miffed at this because it's the same with Rory in golf when he was playing in the Olympics.
Yeah,
he goes on about. Well, yeah, exactly. He goes on about how he loves Northern Ireland, and I know that he's loved on the whole island of Ireland. So I get it, but like you can't pick and choose. At least he always only played for the Irish Olympic team whenever he's played. So I kind of get it, right? But Mickey's played for Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
What was it? 11 years ago now.
I don't know. It's 11 years ago.
But still and I'm not. Yeah. That isn't justification for saying it's fine to change now. But yeah, he has played for them back in 2015 and before that as well potentially. But I don't like it. I don't like it in any sport, to be honest. Like we see it in plenty of things and see it at the Olympics and things as well. And after a period of time, you can change it based on like you once ate a pizza, so you're now Italian and play for them in cricket. Like it's utter nonsense. And especially like it's fair enough if you just go down that route and you just decide, right, I'm just going to move there, get citizenship. I've never played for England, so I'm going to play for Botswana because I'll get a game for them.
Yeah,
like that's all right. It's still questionable, but it's all right. Like if you have previously pulled on the jersey of your country, like, how are you then going and playing for someone else? I'm not having it. Like, it's crap.
Well, go on, Daniel.
This is where I'm happy to be educated and maybe understand things a little bit more. But my understanding was that Mickey Mansell is from Northern Ireland.
He is.
That's where he was born, and that's where he's from. And I think the explanation is due more to what was he doing representing Ireland than why has he gone back to Northern Ireland. That is his country. That's where he's from. That's if you want to do a really obvious look at, well, which country does the bloke play for? Well, you have a look at his birth certificate, have a look at his passport, and say, well, that he plays for them.
Yeah, I am a bit like, I'm not completely sure how it's come about. Like, what is his affiliation to the Republic?
Well, I mean, he obviously that is it. I know we
That's kind of what I want him to come out and justify. Like, I want to know why.
Obviously it's a very, very delicate situation, right? Obviously the troubles and all the rest of it. Like, well, I know we joke about it, but it is still a very delicate situation.
It's been a while.
You might.
Yeah, it's been a while now. I think we can.
It's 30 years. It's 30 years since the Good. It's 30 years.
And I don't think anything to do. I don't think that we're going to restart it again by Mickey Mansell moving sides. I don't think.
No, I agree with that. But
it's not moving the needle, is it?
No, it definitely isn't. Sinn Féin and the DUP aren't going to start a war again over the fact that Mickey Mansell's moved. I get that, and obviously
they both want Mickey Mansell.
But obviously, the thing is as well with Tyrone is exactly that. It's not. I don't remember from my geography. Irish geography is decent, but I can't remember exactly where Tyrone is. I don't believe it's a border county, if that makes sense. It's not where you could where it's like some of it is in Northern Ireland, some of it's in the Republic. I think, if memory serves me correctly, there are particular counties where that can be the case. So it's not
far from the border, but
it's not far. No, well, to be fair, most of Northern Ireland isn't far from the border of the Republic. Let's be frank about it. So obviously there is that. I don't know if there is that sort of dual citizenship sort of rule. I'm not quite sure. Obviously, you can move freely between the borders, and that's absolutely what it is.
I'm really sorry to jump in, but one of the best things I saw, which almost sort of summed it up, and for me, like, removed it as a bit of a talking point, was, I don't know if anyone else read it, was William O'Connor's view on it.
Yes.
And William O'Connor's view on it, I thought, was incredibly, like, grown up and mature and, like, pretty sensible. And he pretty much said that, like, in his view, Mickey Mansell's Irish, and he, as in William O'Connor himself, thinks of Ireland as being the island of Ireland. Like, he doesn't really recognize this, like, north and south, and that if you are from that, if you live on that island, you are Irish. And he said, like, whilst he's happy to play in the World Cup, if Josh Rock and Daryl Gurney wanted to represent Ireland, and that was, that there was one team, like, as the rugby perhaps, then he would support that, and he wanted the best people representing Ireland. So I think William O'Connor's probably got an incredibly sensible view on the situation, and yes, he's happy to be there. And
I was going to say, it's a lot easier to say that when you are there and you're in that position.
Yes, than if you're the chap that's missed out on it. But unfortunately, and this is the real sort of, for me, headline of it all, is that, like, I'm sure that there is a bit of a frustration if you would have maybe got there and Barry Keane hasn't, and I get that. But then I also think that, maybe Rob Owen's frustrated as well, because he could have got in the Wales team if he'd have won a few more matches and been higher up the rankings, and maybe James Wade could have if he'd have won a couple of tournaments. And, like, unfortunately, like, these the selection for these events doesn't come as a surprise. Like, and it's based on a long time of a lot of tournaments worth of ranking points. And if you want to qualify for an event, you got to win more points and win more events than everybody else. Like, otherwise, you won't be in the Euro Tours, and you won't be here, and you won't be going to Minehead, and you won't do this. And like, unfortunately, that lad is entitled to play there, and he's won more ranking money than you have. So,
I think it's the timing of it, isn't it? I think is a bit more the case. And obviously, we don't know how long Barry Keane's known for that Mickey Mantle was switching allegiances and going to play for Ireland rather than Northern Ireland. But it's just whether all of a sudden you think, you know what, I've got that spot locked up, and then it gets taken away from you, which is probably the frustration rather than the fact that, you know what, he's in a higher spot than that.
And obviously the big thing is, as people have mentioned, obviously in the chat room, it is down to the Good Friday Agreement. You can basically be British or Irish or Northern Irish or whatever you want to be in there around that. You're using? Pardon, sorry?
Is that the loophole?
I didn't think the Good Friday Agreement extended to the outskirts of Birmingham, but apparently it does.
You know what? Do you two want 5 minutes of jokes between yourselves? Is that what you want at this point?
No, I'd like to slide them in as and when
if you let us start, we might not finish.
Story of your life, that, isn't it? But no, the big thing. Yeah, got it back. There's one. Look, it is difficult because obviously, like, again, you look at it, and you mentioned it before about the Irish rugby team is also involving Ulster, which is obviously mainly Northern Ireland. You know, you look at we've seen a lot of England. I mean, the most successful English white ball captain in cricket is Irish. So there's that.
You didn't actually play cricket at that point, so it's.
They did, to be fair. Ireland beat them in 2011 at the World Cup.
I know, like
big Kevin O'Brien.
It's almost a charity us taking cricketers off the minute, like just giving the lads a chance.
Well, I suppose, but yeah, but also as well, like, you know,
a bit like when the English football team takes all the best Welsh players, like. It's basically the same thing, isn't it? Like, you've got the Make-A-Wish kids get to come over and have a game.
I mean, Greenish and Rice was the one that did me, was the fact that they decided to play for England, and yet most of them haven't played. Like Greenish in particular hasn't. And they both played for Ireland at junior level.
Yeah, it's only junior level, though, isn't it? That's not real football. That's like comparing, like, I don't know. I haven't got a comparison for it without going too far.
Can I just say, on another note about this World Cup, how are Finland seeded, man? How are Finland seeded in the group stage?
Well, because, I suppose it's interesting, isn't it? Because on the opposite side, there are some rogue, like, you know, there is some very interesting players. Tell you what, the commentators are going to have an absolute word. Mongolians, like commentators with the
Mongolians tough. Like that is a tough gig if you get pulled for that game.
I tell you what, if you're doing the live text for that, you're doing a lot of copy and pasting. A lot of copy and pasting.
When we used to do that, I used to hate it anyway. Like you get to like Labanauskas and it gets a bit rough anyway. But like if we were doing it for Mongolia, that would be instant resignation.
I tell you what, though, it's interesting you say about Finland as well, because there is some talent on the opposite side of that. You know, on the opposite side of that.
Massively.
Like there's some talent. There's some real talent in the New Zealand team. The Hong Kong team. The Hong Kong team we love. Canada looks amazing. Denmark can do a bit.
I love the French team obviously as well, because I'm in love with Thibaut, but that's another issue entirely.
USA, if they turn up, they could easily do it. Spain
team. Christo Reyes is probably playing the best out of anybody right now. Well, you know, best new tour card holder by Berg Reeves. It's as simple as playing as that.
Philippines as well, like Toilo and whoever he's playing with.
Breeder. Yeah.
It is. Honestly, there are some
bits as well.
There's some seeded teams, and I tell you now, there are some seeded teams there that are going to get a hiding. They are going to get
the Australia team for me. The Australia team is the one that stands out, and obviously the Finland team, as I mentioned, but that Australian team, with the way that both Heta and League are playing right now, is the one that I'd be most concerned about, 100%.
Right.
I mean, I look as well at the Swedish side as well. The Graf and Lukasiak haven't necessarily pulled up trees recently.
No, you wouldn't want any part of betting on them.
No, especially and I tell you what's probably frustrating as well is, and we say it every year with the World Cup, it's another case. We've said it a few times with the US team. where they're not fielding their best 2 players from that nation.
Yeah.
And it's happened, it's happened a few times where, because of the qualification, you
could argue that again, it's a bit similar to the Irish argument. You could argue that they're also not fielding 2 Swedish players, to be honest.
Yeah, it's with the tour card holders, you have got you've got some degree of knowing, over the course of time, who the better players are from that nation. Where, they've won one for starters, but yeah, there are some there where you sort of think, hang on a minute, like there's better players that could be representing that nation. Paul makes a reasonable point, actually. We need to be careful about going in 2-footed on people changing nations without accidentally offending Lord Paul Lim, his honour, Paul Lim.
The rule, if it doesn't matter what happens, if you have an opinion, everyone gets it. I'm sorry. Just because you can't change it.
Played for all nations. He is Mr. Worldwide. He's the pit bull of his era, isn't he? He's
picking him for the remix.
He does not have any nationality. He is all nationality.
He transcends nationality. He transcends it.
Yeah.
He's just...
All him. Who are you representing this year? Yes.
Whoever you want. Yeah, we should have an extra one. We should put him in every year just to represent the Falkland Islands for just.
What basically just turns up and someone randomly gets drawn with Paul Lim. One player from one nation just has to go home because Paul Lim's been drawn on there.
Paul Lim's representing you this year.
What was that? What was that island that only had penguins on it that Trump had the what's it called? The tariffs on it. Remember that time when he said he's going to put 10% tariffs on an island in the Antarctic that only had penguins on it?
Yeah,
they get represented by Paul Lim.
Yeah, they can make their debut at next year's World Cup.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but yeah, World Cup's happening. Cool, great.
I can't believe you're sitting there looking at this and looking at all these teams and going, "That's crap. That I want more normal."
I'm giving serious thought. I'm giving serious thought to going. Very serious.
Well, you're just stupid, aren't you, lad? You really are.
I'm with you.
It's because Billy's doing his SATs this week. It's intense in our house, right? So he's got exams all week, which I think is probably unfair on a 10-year-old, but he's got a full week's worth of exams.
You get used to it and get it ready, lad. Get it used to it, because that's what I need a little. Years.
I need a little treat at the end of it, and a quick, maybe just a day at the World Cup could be fun, couldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's just
Frankfurt's a piece of piss from the north.
You can't go, Deirdre.
Why?
You might be able to go on the Saturday, but you can't go on the Friday because we're at Edgbaston. So don't even start.
Yeah, but I could just not go there, and I could just drive straight past Birmingham in my camper van and go straight to Frankfurt. Just forget to stop at Birmingham for the cricket and just straight off to Frankfurt.
Straight on the ferry.
Yeah, do you know what it is? And this is the biggest thing. Initially, it was a stick to beat Gob with on our old podcast. I was just a bit just wanted to try and bash him. But the more and more I've watched it, the more and more I just go, I don't think there's any aura about it. Yes, it's changed dramatically. It didn't used to be, when it used to be the singles matches and then only the pairs at the time. And the moving to all pairs, I concede, gave the tournament more gravitas. But I will still maintain it. I think that it needs to happen every 3 or 4 years, not every year, because the competition is diluted by having it every year. It doesn't make it doesn't make it special.
I've always wanted, and the problem is that, and it's a difficulty because it's the way that darts is growing, and it still is growing, and it's still developing in a lot of nations, and we take it for granted sat in England as the three of us are. But Ireland. I've always wanted a more expanded format for a World Cup. I've always wanted, and again, I accept, let's have the World Cup less often, but when we have it, let's have a proper World Cup, and let's have let's have men's events and women's, and let's have pairs and mixed pairs, and let's link with the junior, and let's have a proper World Cup with, and that's where I think it's more because again, you're giving more opportunities in the developing nations. You've then got females and juniors in the developing nations with an opportunity to get on a PDC stage. And I've always wanted to see the World Cup expand. However, as much as I would love that to happen, like there is a sort of quite predictable outcome to a lot of that, in that some of these developing nations really struggle to put out 2 competent dart players at the top of their men's game. So when you then want to put, add in females and juniors and everything else, you then you erode the standard.
Yeah, I think that
it's a very difficult balance.
In principle, but it's probably 20 years away from being anywhere near slightly feasible.
I mean, the WDF do it. The WDF do it, of course, and we should praise them for that. But obviously, and again, I don't wish this to sound disrespectful, but it's going to have to be. It doesn't have the top players in the world in it, and that's not me trying to be rude. But that's the thing. Like, the
thing that you were trying not to say, but what you meant, I'll just say it.
Okay. Thank you, mate. You're not back next week, so you're fine. You can get away with it. I
can say whatever I want. Anyone I want.
I quite like the fact that if we had this, it's like the men's football World Cup, right? And the women's football World Cup. It happens every 2 years, yeah. And we get that. Obviously, it happens every 4 years for each of the nations, and we get that every 4 years. It feels more special. I don't think that this men's football World Cup is going to be that special because it's 48 teams in it. I think the product might be slightly diluted, but that's another issue entirely. But the fact that it's every 4 years makes it special. And I think that if the PDC moved it to even every 2 years,
I think 2 years. I think 4 years is too long in the world of darts to go
fine.
Without it.
I get that, but every 2 years, maybe in an odd year, maybe because obviously this year they are competing with the men's football World Cup, and we know that that's going to draw numbers away. It's a fact. It's a fact. So if they moved it to every single odd year and moved it to every 2 years, I think I'd have more, not tolerance is the wrong word, but I'd have more enjoyment out of it. 100%, I think. And then, as Dave says there about the Ryder Cup version, as we talked about as a fantasy book in anything, in an even year, 100%. I'd love that. 100%. I think that would work really, really well. Definitely. Right. Well, World Cup's happening. I won't be here to talk about it. It would just be Daniel and Philip at that time, because after episode 250, I'm having a bit of a 6-week break from this show because Cam and I are going to be recording every Monday night for our cricket podcast. So there you go. I've dropped it. I've dropped it in.
On a management meeting as ever. No, you usually do that on our own podcast. That is news to me. Every Monday, is it?
Yeah, pretty much. It will be every Monday. It will feel like 100%. But yeah, listen to the show. I can say that because Bardi's in here and I'm in charge. So there we go. Right. Let's go and talk about what happened across the week of darts. Quite simply, we'll start with the Premier League. If you make every 2 years, do you get rid of the slam spot? Yeah. Sod it. Get rid of it. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
In case he's got even less reason to turn up.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah. Well, actually, before we'll talk about the slam in a minute. We'll talk about the slam later on in the show. Let's talk about the Premier League. Well, what is there to say really about it? To be honest, Luke Littler. Do you remember a time? Do you remember back in March when Luke Littler hadn't won a Premier League night for 4 weeks? Didn't win an entire Premier League night for the month of February, and everybody thought he was finished. Do you remember that?
I think American Dave in the chat room was very concerned for his chances.
I think lots of people thought he was finished, and I think there were one or two of us that said this will be funny when we get to ridicule these people, because he just it was just like the match play last year. Sometimes he just doesn't start very quick, but then once he gets going, you are knackered. He'll let you go 5-0 down. He let these lads, how many times at the match play did he give someone a 5-leg head start? He gave these lads a 5-week head start. Just give him 5 weeks.
Giggles, didn't it? It's to try and keep himself motivated, isn't it?
Give him a 5-week head start, and then but that is one of the things I think about, and he does have in an elite mindset. Like, somebody should study it at some point, how you can do what he's done at his age, and the way that his mindset works genuinely is quite remarkable.
Even just in this week, like to win all 3 games 6-5 is just.
Yep.
But we see that when you see the very best sportsmen at any sport, there is a mindset, and they are able to go into this gear, which is like a sort of, I'm going to have to knuckle down now. I'm going to have to just get out. I'm going to have to just get on. I'm a bit of a ball it, but I'm just going to have to get on with it. And then they just find a place to go and tune in. And how many times have we seen the greats do it at golf, tennis? How many times have we seen that from Nadal and we've seen it from other
Djokovic
greats
in particular. Djokovic was the master at it.
Shit, like, oh Christ, I'm too down.
I don't think that Luke Littler is juiced up to his eyeballs, though, which makes it even more impressive, if anything, to turn
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Only on Robinson's. That's sorry. He's juiced up to his eyeballs on Robinson's squash. That's right.
It was the go-to squash of Wimbledon for many a year.
Yeah,
it was. It still is, isn't it? I think Robinson
is still. I don't know if it still is or not.
It is. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, to be fair, it was a really long night in Leeds. Very long night.
I did the bloody Fallout bar afterwards. Thanks, chaps.
Did you start it at 2:00 in the morning?
I was out. I was out enjoying myself.
It was tomorrow by the time I went to bed. Put it that way.
That's quite often the case on the Fallout bar, though. To be honest, I've done it more weeks than anyone, so I'm not giving any sympathy for that.
That's what the Worlds is for, isn't it? We start at 11:45, in particular at the Worlds. We don't go to bed till 1:00 in the morning. That's how the Fallout bar works, isn't it? Only the one game didn't finish 6-5, which is just mental.
It's the first game of the night as well.
Yeah, every other game was 6-5, which goes to show, I think, just how mental now the Premier League. Do you know what? I sat here 4 weeks ago and said that by the time we got to Birmingham, the top 4 would be done, and it's boring. It's not anymore, because of the fact that everything is now sort of changed. It's chaos, and I hate to say that Daniel was right, but he is. 3 into 2 doesn't go. And that's where we are.
I've said it. I have said it for weeks and weeks and weeks that I just did not. And a lot of it, some of it was the fixtures. Like some of it genuinely was looking through the week and looking ahead. And it's all right looking at the points. But then if you think, well, he only needs 3 more points, 4 more points, but then you look at it and you think, I don't know where those 3 or 4 points come from. And the games look like potential banana skin. And I do think, certainly on a Thursday night, like that Clayton Price, that's gone. Like Johnny can beat Gessie on a Thursday night. Like he was very lucky in Aberdeen, because he shouldn't have beaten Stephen Bunting. He didn't play well enough, and he came right. Bunting should have won that game. But again, even if he got through that quarter final, he was going to have to meet Littler. Littler is dialed in on a Thursday night. Like I just couldn't see where those points were going to come from. And as we go on, I know we'll come to some predictions in a little while. Like I think he's in a world of trouble. And I'm law of averages says he will probably get there. He will probably get there.
But I don't think it's that simple anymore, mate.
It's not comfortable. Absolutely. Oh, he's going to beat Squeaky Bum, and he's going to have to win darts matches. He's going to have to win points because other people are.
The only way. Let's just put it bluntly. If he beats MvG this Thursday night, he's there. That's my money, right?
Yeah.
I think because there's no way that MvG's overturning a 5-point deficit to Gessie on the final night. In my opinion, I just don't think so. Right, that's just again my opinion. So if Gessie goes and beats MvG this week, happy days. He's going to be at the O2. He can go and play in the pool competition and then come back for finals night. Good, like it. If he doesn't, chaos, absolute chaos. That's where my thoughts are. Before we go into predictions, a quick one on this. It's the 4th week in a row where we've seen Little Humphries. I can't do it.
Hang on. You can't have that one now because we didn't see it for the first 12 weeks.
Yeah, but it's the 4th week in a row, man.
Yeah, I know, but like at the start of it, everyone's like, oh, it's the same thing we see week in, week out, Little Humphries every final. Like it hasn't been at all this season. So I'm not letting you have that for this one.
No, I'm not trying to say that, but like it does get boring. For the last month, We've seen Littler and Humphries play the same game. There's only one game that hasn't gone 6-5, and all of them been won by Wonderboy. I'm not criticising Luke for that. You go and win dance matches. I ain't got an issue with it. But for fans who are watching at home, it can get very dull watching the same two players week in, week out, playing the same games. You know, we've had a semi-final, a quarter-final, and then back-to-back finals. Look, the back-to-back finals element of things, I ain't got an issue with. Beat them. You know, I've said that, and I've always been consistent with that. But when we've had it 4 weeks in a row, for me, it gets a bit tiresome.
It happens occasionally. I don't think they've played each other that much in this Premier League. So for me, it's a non-issue.
Yeah, I think it's because I think one of the reasons why I'm not sort of sick of it and I'm happy to see it at the minute is that the worst thing, where it would be worse, right, if I'm honest, is if we were seeing them two play each other every week and they were first and second in the table and they pissed their way through to the final. The fact that Humphries, up until Thursday night, wasn't in the top 4
and hadn't been at all.
And every game he needs every point. I genuinely think that builds, and it has for me. It's built a level of jeopardy into those games that means that they have become exciting. And there is that battle of, you know, Littler almost keeping. It's not just that he's racing for a title with him. He's trying to keep him out of the top 4. He's trying to keep he's going for this title. He's trying to keep the reigning champion out of finals night even. And that for me has made it much more watchable because it's not just the game, it's the story. And that's what I'm interested in. It's what we want from sport, innit? Stories, not just like, you know, hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, exactly that.
Also, as well, before we go into predictions, I'll ask this question about Jan van Veen. Are we going to say he's done?
No.
Okay.
It's only 3 points behind. Like, that's very easily overturnable in 2 weeks. I'm not.
Well, look at the thing, like the bracket he's in this week, and this is really key. The bracket. So first of all, he starts with Josh Rock. With the greatest respect to Josh Rock, and we will come to the 2026 Austrian Darts Open, folks.
Like the Elton Safety Shoes Darts Open. To give it its full name, our favourite sponsor of the year.
Yeah, it's made me order a pair. Like I put them, and I tell you what,
I don't even need them, but I've got some. I work at home in an office. Like,
charge the taxpayer for that. But you know, he's playing Josh Rock. If he beats Josh Rock, he plays the winner of, again, the race out of the top 4 because their forms are shit, is Michael van Gerwen and Gerwin Price. So he couldn't have asked. It's shit or bust for him this week.
Yes.
However, he could not have asked for a better route to a final than what he's being given. Because I think it's sort of he is in dire straits, but it's not over yet. And I think that's particularly because of the specific bracket this week.
Fair. Okay. I don't mind that. I mean, you look at the start that he had when he was runner-up in 3 of the first 4. You know, since the halfway point, he was runner-up in week 9. He's then won 2 darts matches.
Yeah, but
5 weeks.
He's also had fairly serious surgery in that time and had to come back from it. He missed a week or 2. Well, he essentially missed 2 weeks because of it, because that first time he came back, he was nowhere near ready to be playing. So that's had a big impact on him.
Wayne, by the way, this is a question from him. Says, so Jar, you don't like to watch the best darts players play each other? I do.
No, he likes to watch the worst darts players play each other, but he still doesn't like the World Cup and the unseeded nations.
I like the best darts players playing one another. However, I do find the format tiring. I don't think that's a controversial opinion. I'm sorry, I don't. Like, it's 4 weeks in a row we've seen the same thing. If I wanted to go and watch them playing in an expo, I'll go to Armageddon, or I'll go somewhere else. I go and watch an expo where they're both on the bill, and it's significantly cheaper.
Next week.
This week, in fact, I am.
This week, this week it is now. Yeah, it's already Monday of this week, isn't it? But
woohoo! We go to the NIA. Hooray! Cool. Let's take a look at predictions then. Josh Rock against Jan van Veen in the quarterfinals. We then have Gerwin Price against Michael van Gerwen, Luke Humphries against Stephen Bunting, and Johnny Clayton versus Luke Littler. Joel, I have to watch it, and you know that. I have to watch it because it's part of the show. Like you do feel like you have to watch it. Plus, as well, I'm working it this week because Philip is.
Yes, you're going, aren't you?
Yes, Philip is going to be streaming it live 7 o'clock. We'll be doing a watch along on the
program. Like everyone else, he wants to go nowhere near Birmingham.
Well, quite rightly so. I don't want to go near Birmingham, but I've only 20 minutes
to live there, man.
Well, yeah, that is true. But yes, so that's where we are. Yeah, like I say, Phil will be doing a watch along with us, by the way, 7 o'clock on the YouTube channel. So he will be with you live from 7 o'clock. The boys will not be. I don't know who the bloody hell's going to be on the Fallout bar. I don't even know if we're going to have one. To be brutally honest,
I will not. Be
you will not be in a fit state, and neither will Daniel either. you two.
I will make sure he's not able to speak at that point.
Yeah, we
can't speak.
A plan may happen.
Yeah, by the way, before we go into it, again, before we go into predictions, just to say, if you haven't already done so, Dan's got the hoodie on tonight for it, for Midland Starts. They are doing a fantastic raffle on Thursday. Yeah, they are very good hoodies, but I need to.
I know you've got one as well. I feel left out. I feel like I've not.
Well, if you want mine.
Don't do kid sizes, sorry, bud.
What's that? Sorry.
Don't do kid size.
I said they don't do kid size. They only come in.
I'll be honest. I could live inside Jarlath's one.
Honestly, 100% you could. Because in fact, we basically live together anyway during the summer as it is. So why not?
Into his hoodie.
Yeah, but yeah, so if you haven't already done so, sign up to the raffle. I think entries are still open. Memory serves me correctly.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. The draw's not until next Monday. So
yeah, next Monday. Oh, okay, cool. So they're raising money for Prostate Cancer UK. The prizes are ludicrous.
Fantastic. One of the best list prizes I have seen for a raffle in quite some time.
Yeah, and it's only a £5 as well, £5 a go, and it's all raising money for Prostate Cancer UK. It is the biggest killer of men in over 50, I believe, if memory serves me correctly. We need to get it checked, and obviously, and we need to raise money to help people avoid and be cured from that. So, if you are in a position to help, then do so. Sign up now. We've got I think it's on our social channels, but if you search Midland Starts raffle, it'll come up on Google. And you can get involved in that. The boys are going to be at a golf day, a charity golf day as well, which they are. I know they're very excited about on Thursday. And Barzi will be there. PB will be there getting content.
Full team.
Dan will be there. Dan will be there.
Sending Jarlath off to Birmingham to the Premier League.
Well, I'll be there for about 15 minutes, literally 15 minutes to get some kit off cam, and then that's it. Then I'm gone because I've got to go to work. So there we go. Right, so yeah, it is the NIA, the penultimate night of the Premier League. The O2 is in sight. Chat room, as always, get involved. We'll read out some predictions as well. Josh Rock against Jan van Veen. We talked about Jan van Veen. If there was one week you don't want to play Josh Rock, it's probably this week, and we'll come on to what happened, obviously, at the weekend. But if there's one week you don't want to play Josh Rock, it's when he's just going to win a Euro Tour title. That's where I think at the moment.
Maybe, but he's probably slightly distracted by the Euro Tour title win, and he's already eliminated from this, which goes one of two ways. Sometimes we see it completely free people up and they just play with a level of carefree attitude that allows them to play the best stuff, and sometimes it shows that they're already eliminated and they don't want to be there, and we don't know until the night which one we're going to get. But I think the fact that it means a lot more to Jan this than it does to Josh, I think will show, and I think he wins 6-3.
Ooh. Yeah.
What he said? Is that where we're going?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go 6-4, but I think we've seen Josh Rock play very, very well when he hasn't been playing in the Premier League. And the amount of times that we've said, both on the Fallout and on this show on a Monday, he'll probably be able to take that great weekend he's had and then apply that to the Premier League. And then it hasn't happened, So like it hasn't happened the last few times when we've said, what a brilliant weekend he had, and didn't he play well? And he beat him and he averaged this, and it's still a struggle. But no, I think this is just a game where one man really needs it. One man's had a decent week and probably knows he's toast. So Jan van Veen 6-4. Give him an extra leg.
I quite like the way Josh is playing over the last few weeks. And I'm not sold at the moment on the way Gian's playing. So And also as well, just to make sure that GM wins, I'll back Rock 6-4 because we all know the Eaton Curse is undefeated. The Eaton Curse is undefeated, as we know. So yeah, let's do that. Kelly's playing. See you all in Birmingham. Are we taking my Coventry shirt? Oh yeah,
no
Sky Blues
colours allowed.
No, yeah, there is no, there is no football colours allowed.
Unfortunately, it's a quick way to not get through the door.
But you know, play up.
Although if that means you get out of Birmingham quicker, probably not the worst idea.
The poor girl's got to go back to Coventry though, which is even worse. Coventry's a Birmingham overflow, so you know it's out of the frying pan into the fire there. No disrespect. My grandparents live in Coventry.
I'll let you avenge Coventry. No particular feelings either way on Coventry.
What's that, sorry?
They rebuilt it. It got spoiled in the 40s, but they rebuilt it. They had a lot of architects, and it's apparently it's very nice. Lots of concrete, lots of very square communist-looking concrete blocks, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know where you've been to Coventry, but it certainly isn't that now. Right, big game then for this for multitude of reasons. The loser of this, I think, is FUC-Cade. To be brutally honest, going Price against MvG. Where are we going, boys? Because this is a big one.
Big one. I'll wait till last to pick on this because
I'll go first. Then I actually think that Gezzy's due one. Man, I think Gezzy just about wins this one 6-5. But if MvG wins, this could really be chaos.
If he gets to 5-all, I'm not sure I see anyone winning.
No, I agree. But someone's got to win. And I think Gezzy just about does it to secure that place at the O2 because I've said for weeks that he's safe. And I've got to try and stay with him. So
I do think the opportunity to wrap up that spot, which in all but name it does. I don't know how the leg difference stands because I know they'll be the same on matches, but if it does drop to that point. But to all but qualify, go on, Gezzy wins 6-4 because, like I say, if it gets to 5-all, God knows what happens.
I think it goes to 5-all, and
the world implodes.
I don't know what happens. All right, hang on.
Jarlath Eaton storms the stage.
Heads, Gezzy wins. Tails, Michael wins.
Go on then.
Michael Van Gerwen wins 6-5.
Okay, cool. So that means then what that actually means as well is that because we've all picked differently, it means that not what we've done, nothing that we've said can impact on that. So that's always good. Love to see it. Right. We'll move on then to Luke Humphries against Stephen Bunting. Obviously, Humphries getting back into the top 4 for the first time since week number 7 last week with his final run in Leeds. Do you know what? I'll go first on this, and I'm going to say this purely because I'm going to follow the Dan Simpson model. I want chaos. So Stephen Bunting wins. And he wins 6-3. Because I want chaos. Because all I'm going to say is this, is that if my predictions are right, and they never are.
Unless you're predicting a Stephen Bunting night win, then...
Yes! Fuck it! I'm doing it.
Then there is no chaos from that result. But go on then.
Yeah, I'll predict Bunting to win the night because I just want chaos because he's going to be a point off Humphries in 4th. Yes.
Did you even score then? Did I stop listening?
I probably did. 6-3.
Stephen Bunting can still qualify, can't he?
Yep.
Potentially.
Even I'm not going to predict that level of chaos. And you know what? Because that's a level of chaos that even I wouldn't want manifest. Like there's a line, and that unfortunately is on the wrong side of it. So I'm gonna stick for a change with some common sense and say that Luke Humphries wins 6-3.
Yeah,
boring.
I've spotted an angle that allows me to predict in a way that will cause the most anger and upset of Jarlath Eaton, which is that if Luke Humphries wins and Luke Littler wins, they play each other for 5 weeks in a row. And he'll be even more angry and even more upset whilst also being in the building to watch it. So for that reason,
you genuinely don't think I'll be having a fresh air break during that game if it is 5 weeks in a row?
Wins and wins 6-2. Comfortable win for Humphries.
You generally don't believe that I won't be having a fresh air break during that game if it's 5 weeks in a row? Are you mental?
It'll still annoy you enough, though. It'll still annoy you, regardless of whether you're stood inside to watch it.
Yes, fair point. So
I'll go straight in. Luke Littler against Johnny Clayton. Luke Littler wraps up top spot with a comprehensive 6-1 victory over Johnny Clayton.
Daniel?
Yeah.
I did want to predict chaos and have Johnny win the night and it just drag it into last week and all or nothing, but
6-2 Wonderboy.
I'll go 6-3 then, just to be generous. So we're not predicting the same. So yeah, 100%. Like I think Wonderboy.
It would be nice to see Johnny win the night and then next week matter for who tops the table as well. That'd be quite fun. But
all I'll say is that Littler and Clayton at the moment, no matter what happens, are guaranteed to be in one and are going to be in the same positions in the bracket, regardless.
Yeah, it makes a difference if you finish top, you've played fourth rather than playing.
No. I mean, sorry, for week 16, I should say.
Oh, for week 16, yeah.
Yeah, they're the same. They're the same. They're going to be in the bracket
I just mean
as they are now.
I get that. Anyway,
playoffs. Right. From your predictions, then, who wins night 15 of the Premier League 2026 in Birmingham, and who do they play in the final?
So I think, in terms of manifesting chaos, I'll go first. I think that Van Veen beats Price.
Okay.
Because Gezi will not be bothered once he's qualified.
Yeah.
And
Luke wins semi-final.
Beats Humphries again.
Shock.
So then Jan Van Veen beats Littler in the final to put him level on points with Luke Humphries and cause all matter of chaos going into the final week. And they will play each other for a spot in that first round in the final week, depending on Michael Van Gogh winning the night or not. But yeah, that's the way I'll go. So Jan wins the final 6-5 over Littler, and he's the only man in the world that can beat Littler in a deciding leg.
Okay. I mean, I can see it, but it is what it is. Daniel?
Well, the most fun, but also could happen on night 15.
I've just told you. I've just literally reeled it off.
You've literally just spent the last hour telling you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not sure. If they were on opposite sides of the bracket, I'd have a Van Veen MvG final. Just because it.
Yeah.
Because that would be perfect. And I can't have that. So it's got to be Humphries Van Veen in the final.
Ooh.
And Van Veen.
You've got Humphries finally getting over the line against Wonderboy.
Yeah.
Semi.
But he will not. He'll do his money. He'll do his money in the semi, and Van Veen will beat him in the final. Van Veen beats Humphries in the final 6-4.
I wish I could want. I want all sorts of chaos. So, unfortunately, though, I'm going to be boring. I mean, I'm going to get a record set this week. Wonderboy wins his 7th night. And he beats... I'm going to say, go on, sorry. I say he beats Josh Rock in the final. I think he beats him 6-3.
Fair enough.
Because as much as I really want to put Stephen Bunting in the final of the game, and then win that, just to create maximum chaos and do all the rest of it, I just think that
I can't believe you opted out of your own prediction that you'd already set up for yourself.
I know, but I think the thing is that for Wonderboy is that he has now got the chance to go and create more history. He's done 6 now twice. No one's ever done 7. So that means
here we go.
he's got an opportunity.
I have the power to kick you out of here.
But I'm hosting. So
you might be hosting, but I can still kick you out of the back end of it. So be very careful about the actions that you do on this stream.
And then there's 89 as well. Nonsenses.com, is it?
Reporternonce.com.
Yeah. Ironically,
I was just gonna go at Met Police, but reporternonce.com might be a new level.
The irony of you doing it because I've done that and not for the fact that I was working.
Not for all the nonsense you do. I think I'm showing.
It's one way to out yourself, isn't it?
Imagine that being the thing that got him caught. Oh God! Wasn't just seeing us the car park with a group of people arising, saying, "Who are you here to meet?"
I don't even know what happened to the camera then as well.
Bloody hell!
Brilliant.
Well, this is what happens. This is what happens. In fairness, we have been left unsupervised.
Yeah, we have. That's it.
Well, if you leave your kids unsupervised, they will have a house party and things will get broken, and that's what happens.
Phil has left us unsupervised, and this is what more could be expected.
But the thing is, what I was going to say was the fact that I was doing a swimming event at the weekend, and that's what you get. And that's how you get. Okay, brilliant, unbelievable. Right, we'll move on quickly because do you know what we need now to try and get us back on track? We need the Masters music at this point just to try and get ourselves back a little bit on track. I don't think we can now, to be fair. The Euro Tour with a load of people missing because Graz is an absolute bastard to get to means, though, that Josh Rock has got a green jacket. Love to see it.
It certainly does.
Good stuff. Cracking final, by the way. Thought it was a brilliant final. Yeah. Really enjoyed watching it the other day. I watched it this morning.
Very good performances over the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it was a thoroughly decent. Like, I know I quite like the Austrian Darts Open. Yeah, Austria's a bit of a. I mean, it's not a ball ache to get to. If you want to take your time, you can fly in. You can fly into Budapest, and you can take a lake. You can take a boat down the Danube if you want. You can go. But yeah, if you want to get in and out of it quick, it's a bit of a fanny on. But I genuinely thought it was a reasonable weekend. I think it's got a bit of novelty because they do a bit of a, the green jacket feature, and I think it's nice to be a little bit different, especially because I think some of these Euro Tours events, they sort of blur into one. It's hard to work out which one you're watching and make it distinguished from the others. But I thought it was a canny weekend all around, to be honest. I thought there was some good darts played. That we saw a couple of decent runs by players that we maybe. I tell you, like, there's a couple of shout out to Madas Razma, who had a cracking weekend, coming in as an alternative last minute, played really well. We saw some like superb stuff. Crystal Reyes again, a monster of a weekend. Resurgent.
9 Dawson in there as well. Don't forget.
Yeah, like really resurgent form from players that have gone, that really needed it. We saw good performances from Cross, good performances from Gilding. I thought it was a genuinely decent Euro Tour. I mean, we'll come to Kevin Doots because there's a lot to talk about there.
Ridiculously good darts at the moment.
But
the scoring power is just immense from him.
Really good, really good, solid weekend.
I'll tell you what was it. Well, obviously we'll come on and talk a little bit more about this. But big weekend, as you mentioned there, for Rob Cross, making the semi-final was big for him because what's that done to his ranking? He's put it back straight into the world match play race again. Great to see it. Absolutely brilliant to see. He's now currently in lane number in position number 14.
You say lane then? You're still at the swing. You're still nonsense.
I am, yeah. In lane.
Well, I tell you what. we did talk a few weeks ago, didn't we? And interestingly, we were talking about that Pro Tour Order of Merit side of the match play, and the names that sort of came up. We talked about Dirk van Dijvenbode, Andrew Gilding, Ryan Joy, Rob Cross, Damon Heta. Half of those were sitting outside of the match play spots at the time. Now, when you look at it again, it looks a bit more. And I'm not a big fan of this, but it looks a bit more normal, doesn't it? Like it doesn't look as chaotic and random as it did in previous weeks, which is a little bit disappointing because
fuck off.
Kim Hybrex is getting close though. Kim Hybrex is very, very close now on the outside of there after a ridiculous finish that came against Chris Dobie, as you'll be keen to talk about, I'm sure, Dan.
Oh, I fucking did not enjoy that.
That 1-3-2 was magic though, to be fair.
Well, you're right. He is only a grand away. But look at some of those players in form as well. Like, I'm not being funny, lads, right? Cristo Reyes on just shy of 40 grand. He could do it,
Yep.
Cristo Reyes could.
If you're going to put Cristo Reyes in there, then you're going to have to put Bo in there as well. I'm sorry. You're going to have to. She's 250 quid behind.
I agree. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's still, and I personally, because of where they're coming from, obviously they've got a standing start compared to a lot of the others. I give them far more chance than I give, Max Hopp and Jeffrey DeGrasse and Alan Suter and Lucas Venig and
Jeffrey DeGrasse. Jeffrey DeGrasse.
Jeffrey DeGrasse. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey DeGrasse.
He'll dominate it.
Unfortunately, Bars is going to be celebrating in the tunnel.
I tell you what, it's a wonderful finish, by the way.
I don't care. I wanted chaos and I want fun. I don't want Tottenham to be in the Premier League.
You have never in your life wanted fun. You're the most miserable bastard I've ever met.
Well, that's coming from you, which is a little bit worrying, to be fair. They won a lot. Bollocks. Anyway, yeah, like I say, Rob Cross being up there in the match play race, but like you say, there is some absolute shite still there. There's still some shite in that list, 100%. You look at Ryan Joyce. Hasn't necessarily been playing great recently. I wonder who. I think Daryl.
You can't attack the ones from the northeast when Dan's sat here.
Well, it's true. I'm probably going to go out on a limb now and say I think 12 are safe for the match play because Daryl Gurney's very sure.
Don't forget, we've got a live lounge live in the northeast, and we are still lining up guests. So just be careful who you offend at this point.
It's called. He's not playing great.
No, you're right. You're right.
You referred to him as absolute shite a minute ago.
Well, there is, at the moment he's playing absolute shite. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to say. I think it's true. We have opinions on the show, and he's playing absolute crap.
No, I mean, you're right. It's very hard to make a case. The pace at which, the only thing that I think keeps him safe, and I think, again, like Andrew Gilding had a real bump this weekend. Like Andrew Gilding, I think, and has got that gap as well now. But the only thing that keeps him safe is like the others running out of time, because there is only a finite amount of events between now and that cut off for the match play. So it could be for some just not too little too late, because like I say, some of them came from a standing start. Some of them that look strongest, the likes of Bo and Cristo Reyes, like they haven't had the run up everybody else has had to this. And I think that they're there next year, because they're there next year, and the others again need to up their game, because I've said it a few times. There are players coming at the minute charging up that order of merit, and they are going to depose the stalwarts. Those people that can you imagine a few years ago? And I know they've all got their different stories, and there's different reasons why they're not there. But if we'd have said a couple of years ago that you're going to have a match play and it's not going to have Michael Smith in it, it's not going to have Dave Chisnell in it, it's not going to have Dimitri van den Berg in it, it's not going that there's a big list of players, even players that maybe aren't as box office, but like Gabriel Clemens nowhere near, Ricky Evans nowhere near,
Peter Wright miles away.
Yeah. Peter Wright. Peter Wright's probably another one that you'd almost
and then you're looking at, when we're looking at the bottom end of that, we're looking at the Sedlacek, Heta, Cross, those spots, and we're looking at who might depose them. We're not looking to the Michael Smiths and the Peter Wrights. And we're looking and thinking.
Well, Michael Smith's not a long way off, to be fair, and he's playing slightly better at the moment.
Yeah, but
again, he made a Pro Tour final last week.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
he's got an opportunity at what he needs 10.5 grand to make up.
If he goes and wins a Pro Tour, which would be great if he did, then obviously
the thing he's got against him is the fact that God predicted that he would win one. So that is a fighting a losing battle there.
He's not. But to be fair, he's not. It's not like the Eaton curse. The Eaton curse is undefeated.
Literally, he just said it as we've mentioned it as well in the chat.
But yeah, also as well, again, going back to Gob, actually, that he said before that Luke Woodhouse would win a Pro Tour, as it will win a title this year. He was not far off, obviously.
Not far at all. He had a great weekend again.
Yeah, and obviously Kevin Dukes as well having another great week because he won the Pro Tour last week and making a Euro Tour final this week. So obviously, I mean, out of all of the players right now in that top in that Pro Tour order of merit qualification, it's them two, isn't it? Though Kevin Dukes and Luke Woodhouse, you do not want to get.
You don't want to be anywhere near them.
The rest of them, yeah, okay, Ratajski probably as well because Ratajski's playing some decent darts.
I wouldn't ever really want to play Schindler because he's capable of just doing ridiculous things at times.
But the rest of them?
And Zonneveld, to be honest, Zonneveld can put up a serious game on his day.
Yeah, but the rest of them, I could probably go,
you fancy your chances, to be honest.
100%. There's also a genuine possibility here. And I know there's 40 grand to make up. But I think that Wessel Nyman could still get to seed number 14 for the match play here.
Yes.
I think he's obviously won a Pro Tour last week, won the title last week on Tuesday again. You're joking, Not another one. And then obviously we got more Pro Tours this week as well.
Yeah.
So it's not. If he gets to seed number 14, for me, he should be third favourite for the match play. For me, he should be third favourite.
Whoa, that's bold.
I'm not sure about. I mean, that is bold.
No, because let's take Wonder Boy out of it and take Luke Humphries out of it for a second. Who right now in that top 16 is playing better darts than Wessel Nyman? Nobody.
It's a fair point that you make, but he's also, as we've seen every single time that he's been on the television, he doesn't perform at that level. And I would not want my money anywhere near someone at third favourite for a competition that.
Do you know what might hinder him? Do you know what might hinder him as well, getting into that next spot? Is that he's going to have to jump Nathan Aspinall. And yes, he might outplay him. He might win more matches than Nathan, but Nathan's defending. Like if Nathan was going to drop some money, that would help Nathan. That would help Wessel.
I know,
but in total, across 1, 2, 3, 4, across 4 Players' Championship events and a Euro Tour, Nathan's only defending 2, 3, 4, 5 grand.
Well,
so
okay,
not a lot to drop off. But I mean, yeah, if Nathan gets outplayed, it's still a big gap to make up across just a very small amount of tournaments.
Talk amongst yourselves for a second. I just want to double check something. How many events have we got until the match play? Talk amongst yourselves.
I don't know. The cut-off's the 8th of July, but I was trying to do that in the background before and figure out how many it was.
We've got 12 events. I've just done it now.
We've got
12 events left.
Until the match play cut.
Until the match play cut off. You don't think that right now, with the way that he's playing on the floor, that Western Ireland's not going to outscore Nathan Aspinall and outrank Nathan Aspinall by 40 grand?
12 events?
Yeah.
Ranking events?
Yep.
We can't.
How many of those are floor events and how many are Euro Tours?
We've got 8 Players' Championships, I think. Sorry, 8, yeah. We've got 9 Players' Championships and 3 Euro Tours.
Because Kind of.
Oh, Christ, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you now that I reckon that Wessel can win at least 3 of them. 3 Pro Tour events right now with the way that he's playing. And that's 45 grand. And with the way that Nathan Aspinall's playing right now, I don't think that he's going to make enough money to keep that 14th spot.
It's good. He'll run him tight. I think he will run him tight. But at 40 grand, it's a...
Yeah, it's a lot to me. I still think Aspinall will tick up enough that, like, he's going to win. He's going to win 30, 40 grand himself in that time. So Wessel's going to have to take 80.
If Nathan goes and wins a Pro Tour or a Euro Tour, I'll happily concede that Wessel's going to be in the 15th spot.
He does quite enjoy a Euro Tour.
He does, but like I say, if Nathan goes and wins a Pro Tour or a Euro Tour, I'll happily sit here and say, okay, Wessel's going to be the 15th seed. But right now, if Wessel gets into that 14th spot, there's a genuine possibility that in my book he's the 3rd favourite to win the match play. Not saying that he'd be Bookie's 3rd favourite, but he's probably 3rd favourite to win the match play.
He still can't play when the lights are on. Like,
but like, okay, Gian, he's obviously won a European Championship, made the World Final. On TV, since then, in ranked money, hasn't done anything. We're talking about MvG in a second about how he could miss the slam, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, but you're talking about a man that's never done anything on television.
No, I get that, but at some point it has to happen. Surely. The law of averages suggests that
it just did shit on television and good on the floor events. Like, certain players have made a career out of it.
I was going to say, there are a few people.
Ian White and Justin Pike are the 2 that come to mind, obviously. But I genuinely believe that if he gets to seeds 14, because he will avoid Littler and Humphries until at least the semi-finals, there isn't anybody else in that field that I would back ahead of Littler and Humphries than Wessel Nyman right now, because of the way that he's playing. Because
I just think looking at it straight away, if he gets into a match on a stage against James Wade or Johnny Clayton, he gets beat because they will just out double him when it matters and they'll beat him. It doesn't matter how he scores or what he does. And Danny Noppert the same. And probably Gary Anderson. Definitely not.
Hull have just scored.
What's that?
Hull have just scored. That's a shame.
I'm not watching that.
We want Millwall. I want Millwall in the Prem just for 1 year. Just to see
neither of those teams should be anywhere near the Prem. They're both shy. Well, we took 6 points off Millwall, for God's sake.
Christ. Absolutely, that should be enough to get you out of the playoffs anyway. Right, okay, cool. Well, anyway, like I say, Barzy said last night on the Eurotour stream that everyone from Dirk up is safe. I'm going to go further than that. I think Gilding's safe. I think we're playing for 4 spots now. I think so. I think that little gap of nearly 7 grand that he's got there, well, 6,250 that he's got there now to Joyce below him, I think is just enough money that it'll keep him in there. 100%. But
and he's playing pretty well.
Any different than that? Are you happy to say that Gilding's safe?
Yes, I am now. Yeah, I think it's a that Euro Tour, that extra money has just nailed it on for him, and that's my line currently. Andrew Gilding.
The biggest question.
B&B.
Yeah. The biggest question, of course, though, it has Ryan Searle qualified for the match play?
Well, that is the thing that we always need to ask, and
every year
I am happy to confirm that yes, he has.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just thought I'd double check. Right. Next.
Not only that, he's bloody seeded.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So there we go. Right. Moving on to the next part of it then. Questions. How have we got to this point that we are having this discussion that MvG might miss the Grand Slam?
He doesn't win enough dance matches. He hasn't done for a long time.
I was going to say it's quite.
All right, fair enough. There's that conversation topic over there. Next,
I did tell you it was going to be a short conversation, didn't I?
If you say it, you can say it. Yeah.
So I think the original question was, could MvG miss the slam? And my answer is a very, very strong and resounding yes, he could.
Sorry to interrupt that before you go. I love Big Johnny's answer there because he's playing crap. Discussion.
The the last 2 years have, well, we were, was it when was it that the three of us were in Exeter? And was that 2014 when we were in Exeter for the Premier League?
2024, Daniel, you've gone 10 years extra back.
Sorry, I'm feeling very, very old at the minute. So yeah, 2024, we were in Exeter for the Premier League, and we watched that throw that had just broken completely at the time, wasn't it? You know, it looked a total mess. He's obviously, it's been a really interesting, but like a strange couple of years. Obviously, from a darts point of view, he, regardless of whether the throw fell apart or not, he has been surpassed by people who are better at darts at them, you know, these days than him, that produce higher levels and they produce it more often. So he is being legitimately outplayed by better players. On top of that, he's had real struggle with his own action. He's also had, I don't think it's news to say that, you know, he's had some challenges and different things going on off the hockey as well. He isn't winning enough games, and he's not winning enough on the telly. And I genuinely believe he is in serious risk now because he is going to start. So this year we're going to see him. I think we're going to see him not at the Grand Slam for the first time since 2009 that he hasn't qualified for the Grand Slam. And I do think as well we are going to see him slide down the rankings. And I said this a couple of weeks ago because we have seen Peter Wright and we've seen other former world champions slide down that order of merit to the point where they have to go and qualify, playing qualification events in order to play in Euro tours. And but there is the potential of a very, very quick change in the darts life of Michael van Gerwen, where he goes from deciding that he's not going to play in events because, you know, he don't have to and he's a bit busy and he doesn't need to, and, you know, to all of a sudden, not only is he choosing to not play, but now he has to go to a qualifier to play the other crap lads if he hasn't, you know, if he wants to go. Like, it's not a case of...
I was going to say, he strikes me as the character that he's just not going to do it.
No, I think he'll think it's beneath him. I don't think he'll go and play a cover. I cannot see a scenario.
It probably is a little bit beneath him, but unfortunately, that's where his darts level is at the moment.
Well,
and
this is what we've seen from five-time world champion Raymond van Barneveld, isn't it? You know, we've seen him having to go and play in qualifiers with the crap lads and be the famous bloke at Q School and everything else in order to come and play and get an opportunity to play on TV. And I don't think that Michael van Gerwen will tolerate the indignity of that, you know, and going through that process. But therefore, I think the picture is very alarming because the point I was working my way around to, which I'll quickly make, I think there is a real potential that he becomes the big contentious talking point next year in February when the Premier League lineup is announced. And I am under no illusion that I think he will be in the Premier League next year. But I think there will be lots of people looking at what he's done in the previous year, what he's qualified for, what he's expecting to play next year, where he is in the order of merit, and say, hang on a minute, where does this, you know, I think it's going to become a bit of a contentious pick next year.
So I think we've moved on. We've moved on to a point in that sort of thing where what you've done in the past doesn't really matter anymore. Like, do you know, like how it used to be? And you'd looked at it 5 years ago and gone, there's no way in the next 10 years you'll ever take him out of there because what he's done, what he's won. But the way that the landscape is now, like you say, has anyone even considered Peter Wright at any point? Two-time world champion Peter Wright at any point during this Premier League? You ever thought, oh, yeah, you know what, it's missing him, or that he should be in the conversation to be in it because what he's done in the past? It doesn't matter anymore. That landscape has changed. And if you're not doing it now, you are not the flavour of the month anymore and you will not get picked. And you're 1 year out of there, you are gone and forgotten.
I also think that the fact that he's starting to say no as well to exhibitions to the World Series events. You know, for example, we know he's not going to New York. I don't know whether he will go to Australia or New Zealand. I've got no idea. But I don't think that's going to help you, in my opinion. That's just my opinion right now. You know, I also think that you look at it, you look as well at the rankings for the big televised tournament. Yes, he's ranked number 4 for the match play, but don't forget that he's got a final coming off this year. He's got to go and defend 150 grand or however, I can't remember exactly how much it was. Was it 100 grand at that point that he's got to defend? But it's still a lot of money anyway. But he's got to defend a lot of money.
It is 100 grand.
But there we go. Cool. But you look at the races for the World Grand Prix. He's currently number 10. Number 10. And then he's obviously got 200 grand coming off his ranking at the World Championships this year because of obviously when he finalist from 2 years ago. As Rob mentions in the point in the chat room, Michael Van Gogh provisionally is world number 20. He's going to be outside the top 16 unless something changes. And look, I appreciate that things will change. I get that. But right here, right now, he's going to be outside the world's top 16. Barzi said something to me years ago, which has always stuck with me. MvG has always said that he's going to put the darts away when he's 40. He's going to be 3 years off that. He'll be 40 in 2029. Is that a realistic possibility if that continues the way it is? I don't want to write him off. I'm not writing him off at all.
Oh, no. At the same time as saying that this about him and where he's at, I would not be surprised if he went on a run at the match play and ended up in the final again. And
this is the problem, isn't it? Like, this is the issue because we can say it all the time and we can say he won't qualify for this. But I mean, I'd spent a year saying he was like, well, the same thing. I spent a year saying the same thing certainly the back end of 2024 after he lost that match play final. And then, he couldn't do a thing on television. Like, first round of the Grand Prix, out, round robin of the Slam, Players' Championship finals, lost in round 1, like the back end. And I said all the same things. Like, he's going to have to defend this money. He's defending that. He's going to have to do this. And then he makes a clown out of me by going and making a final at Alexandra Palace, doesn't he? Now, it's the only thing he's done in the last 24 months is that final at Alexandra Palace. Right? There's nothing else. I mean, I'm not accepting that whatever that world, the World Series Grand Tour exhibition final is. That's I get that. I'm not having that.
But it is a great event, and you should always go to it if you can because it's.
I'm not questioning its funness as an event. I love an exhibition as much as the next man, but it's
penalty to Leeds.
Get up.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's important stuff. But no, I said this for the whole of the back end of 2024, and it was that when he lost that match play final, it just looked like nothing was working. Everything, there was so many. Every time he got on TV, he was out in the first round. The World Cup was a disaster. It didn't go for him at all. And then he then goes and makes a final, and you think, shit, yeah, he can just go and do it, but it's not enough anymore because the problem you've got is if every now and again you turn it on telly enough for to keep your ranking there, sooner or later he's not playing in those TV titles. He's not playing in them to pick the money up, and you just feel like it's a matter of time now. But I can see a scenario, and I think it's quicker than some people think. Like, I do think it's going to come round fairly fast. Tour card race at the minute, like he is 20th.
Yeah, we said that. Yeah.
So, how would you pick someone number 20 for the Premier League if he's won nothing for 2 years?
Look, by the way, before out of interest, I know there's a couple of Spurs fans in the chat. It's nothing to do with the fact that it's two things. One, it's PB, and two, I want the funniest outcome, and the funniest outcome is you getting relegated. I'm sorry, it just is. And it's 1-1, by the way.
No,
so there we go.
Even if you're a Spurs fan, you have to
Ham
accept
such enough inside that they deserve to go down ahead of Spurs.
If you're a Spurs fan, right, you have to accept for the rest of us, it is absolutely piss funny if you get relegated.
100%. With
your Super League nonsense, all this shite about we'll break away and form the Super League.
Oh my God.
It is also funny though. It is also funny though if West Ham go down after sacking Moyes for not playing the West Ham way.
Football. No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Because the West Ham way apparently is losing, and he wasn't playing that football. They didn't like the fact that he was winning games, so it's funny if they go down as well.
But also,
nowhere near as funny as Spurs.
No disrespect on this one to you, mate, Daniel. But like when Newcastle were in the process of going down a few years back, that was I appreciate it wasn't piss funny for you, but for all the rest of us, it was absolutely hilarious. In the same breath, it will be for Spurs if they go down.
Why?
Why?
They'll be back down there once
as a big six.
Once the Saudis pull the money from
the Super League. But I don't understand.
We said this wasn't going to be a dart show, didn't we? We said this wasn't going to be a dart show.
Level of comedy from that just sounds vindictive and spiteful.
But once the Saudis pull their money from there as well as Live Golf, they're gone as well.
Oh yeah, you're bollocks.
They'll be down
Absolutely
there again.
Screwed.
Anyway, Fabio Wardley against Daniel Dubois, anyone?
Yeah, this is the old sports show at this point. It really is. But yeah, so going back to it, like I said, I genuinely believe there is a massive case for MvG missing the slam. But I'm not being funny, and this isn't me trying to be, do anything disrespectful. But I mean, you might do what this bloke used to do.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Jolliffe. Thanks for being in the Barney Army.
Use the World Cup as a backdoor.
I can't believe you've played that clip.
I thought I'd just get it out there because it's now expected on the live lounge, and I found a way to weave it in. So there we go. 100%.
Yeah, you've done well there, mate. You've done very well.
Should I just upload the picture of you dressed all in orange at the cricket as well?
Well, but I tell you what, especially with the Irish debate as well, that's going to go well, isn't it?
Jesus, I nearly said something out loud that I shouldn't have said.
Yes, very good. Well done. You corrected yourself. Well done. But yeah, no, Barney used the World Cup as a backdoor into the Slam and to the Premier League, for years and years and years. It was when he was moaning about the fact that it wasn't ranked, with the World Cup, that they changed the ranking for it. I think there's a possibility that MvG will use the World Cup. Now, it's quite telling that he's playing the World Cup for the first time in years. Obviously, now that his partner's changed and he's not the Dutch number one anymore, which is also quite telling. But now, obviously, with the fact that he's got a chance now of getting into the Slam, that's where we are. So,
very cynical. I believe that's why he would be doing it, Charlie.
Am I wrong, Mick? Am I wrong?
I don't think you are.
No, I don't either.
Oh my God! 2-0 Hull. That's it. Millwall gone.
Ah, boo.
Boring. I wanted Hull. I wanted Millwall in just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah, that again, make it more fun. If we're going to have a London team in, we might as well have one that's a little bit has a bit of crack, mightn't you?
Yeah, but it's more than likely going to be Saints. So
yeah,
even though they played one of the worst performances I've ever seen the other night, and I'd once, but they will end up.
It's the away leg 0-0. That's fine. Innit? It's away leg 0-0. Take that all day long.
But I tell you what's happened there, right? As well, what's really annoyed me about that is, what could happen now is the fact that it could be Millwall versus West Ham in the champ next year. That could be some chaos at the London Stadium. Here we go. Week in darts. Anything else that we've missed that we need to talk about? There's Pro Tours happening tomorrow, I guess. 19 of them. 19 tour card holders skipping at least one of the Pro Tours this week.
Yeah, that's a bit.
Just wept.
It doesn't look great, does it? I understand why people do it, and I understand why they're doing it, and I'm not going to have a go at them for doing it. I would do the same in their situation, probably, but it doesn't look good for the PDC when that many of the tour card holders aren't bothering to turn up for sort of the main day in, day out job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I agree that it isn't a great look for the PDC. However, I'm fine with it. I am completely fine with it. I think you earn your right to pick and choose where you want to go. Like these lads are self-employed. They don't have to turn up to anything they don't want to. Like if they can earn more money going doing something else, then take a different booking. Like as long as they've got enough. And I think, well, it creates more opportunities for other people. We are seeing more people getting the opportunity to play on Pro Tours. We're seeing more different winners. We then, there's all these potentials of then seeing more people qualifying for Euro Tours, seeing more people qualify for the Slam. Like, it's creating opportunities. And if the big guns don't want to play, like, again, that's fine. Like, I have no issue with it. And I just think, like, so I had this out sort of a bit with Phil the other day about, like, when you, and I know the Pro Tours are a little bit different, but like Euro Tours are as well. If you're going to see an event and you've bought tickets and you expect to see the big players, but I sort of have always thought, like, there are a very finite amount of events that when you buy your tickets, you sort of know that you're going to see your favorite player. Like, if you're going to go to the UK Open, like, you've got, you can make sure that if you've got your favorite player in the world, even if they lose in the first round, you can see them play that.
If you get there early enough, get yourself in the right spot.
There are other things, like, where, if you buy match play tickets, when you buy the ticket, you don't know who's playing that day. I mean, Christ, I went to Ali Pally. I daren't even repeat what I paid for tickets for me and Billy to go down there, right? And then
just in case Anna's listening.
In case. Then you look at the lineup and you think, you have got to be, and I did. And like, I literally thought, you have got to be kidding me. Like, that's the lineup, is it? Like, that's what I've paid that money for. Oh, I get to see. Hang on, who's headlining the session? Right, bloody brilliant, Andrew Gilding. Like, and you just think, like, come on. But and again, if you buy tickets for the match play, if you buy tickets for anything, like, you pay your money, you take your chance, don't you? You can think, we've said it before. I think Friday night the match play, brilliant. You can look at quarterfinals, but then who knows what you're going to see? It could be garbage. It could be brilliant. It's one of the risks that you take when you buy a Premier League ticket now as well. Because when you buy your Premier League ticket a year before, you don't know who's playing. You don't know who's in it, who's not in it. You could be a big Peter Wright fan, and his demise comes between you buying your ticket. He don't win a game from you buying your ticket to the Premier League announcement. So it's a real, I don't buy this, like, disappointed fans. If you want to go and see the darts, see the darts. If you want to see one particular player, right? If you are a Luke Littler fan and you want to see Luke Littler, well, then every year he does a certain amount of exhibitions.
Just put tickets for every final. And you'll be all right.
Tickets for every finals. No, but you know what I mean, though. Like, these players, they play their exhibitions. They earn a lot of money from exhibitions. So, like, and if you buy your ticket for an exhibition, that's the player you're going to see. If you're going to see Michael Van Gerwen and Luke Humphries, that's who's going to be at your exhibition. If you pay enough money, they'll shake your hand as well. Like, pay even more, they might shake something else. But if you are going to your exhibitions, get somewhere else shut. No, that's mine. So if you, I don't buy, but if you buy tickets, it's the risk you take. It's the risk you take.
I mean, Bobsy's put a point in here about it, and we'll come on to it, about Mental Sudovic's comments. Too many top players skipping the Euro Tour. Let's just if you haven't seen the comments, this is what he told Darts News. He said, the Players' Championships don't like the format because of the Premier League, the best players don't come. A new winner every time, unfortunately, is ruining our rankings. We need a shorter calendar, but the PDC isn't doing anything about it. He then goes on to say, our rankings are suffering because of this. The top players have to be there. They absolutely have to be. The European Tour is one of the most important tournaments and the major ones. Now nobody's coming. What's the point of all this? What is the point? What is it? Players' Championships. Okay. Something can always withdraw. Sorry, let me just finish this off. But not the European Tour. Luke Littler isn't coming to any tournament. That's just not right. As in my time in 2017 and 2018, the top 16 always won. Now things are extreme. What is it?
Right.
Yeah, I'll rank it. Final point. Sorry, the final part of the quote, and then I'll let you go. Our ranking is suffering because of this. We play in England and they don't come to the Players' Championships. How is that possible? I can win it. That can't happen. It can't happen. That's what he said.
So his issue is that his ranking is suffering because he's not having to beat the best players in the world to win events. Surely for him, if he turns up to an event and none of the top 16 are there, he should be thinking, you know what? Should piss this. Easy money, this. My ranking's absolutely flying up here.
It's
so
bollocks,
is he telling us that he can't beat the people that are reserves?
No, what I think it is it's not. I think it's him sort of saying, well, I'm having to play these people, and normally the better players should knock them out. And I get like
I'm losing to people that shouldn't even be here.
Like,
which stands to reason that he would lose to the other people anyway. So it's just talking absolute shite. Because he's lost to someone he shouldn't have lost to.
Yeah, it's a very, very strange take. And if I know it isn't, and I know his English is pretty good. It's better than he lets on. But that whole statement reads a little bit like it was put into Google Translate and then pulled back out the other end. You know, like
it was sort of a ChatGPT shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot. You're going to have to work very, very hard to explain to me in a coherent way how your ranking is harmed by the best players in the world opting to step away from playing in a tournament, reducing the level of players you're going to have to play against. Like, I'll tell you what hurts your ranking is you not winning darts matches. That is what hurts your ranking.
You playing worse players could be conducive to you winning more darts matches.
I think the point he's trying to make is literally like when these lads don't turn up, other people win and win money. And that's not fair because some of them might earn more than me. But they are like to
so far behind where he is in the rankings that it's irrelevant.
No, but I don't want to oversimplify it too much. But like, if the point is those people who are winning more ranked darts matches than I am are earning more money than me and are moving up the rankings beyond me, I don't know where to start to explain that. That's the concept of that is the very concept of a ranking system.
Yeah. Just win more games and you'll be all right, Mensa. Like that's all
it confuses me that it's
just standing there like these Pro Tours without the main players are too easy and I can't win them.
Yeah, it is. It does sound like
it sounds like an argument that will be made by the Prime Minister of this country.
Yeah. I mean,
the problem I've got here, you see, the problem
there's too many people coming into these elections.
That means I can't win it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, I can't win it.
This is absurd. This is hurting my ranking, this.
But by the way, have you seen it, the way? 70 now. 70 MPs.
I'll tell you what, mate. I wouldn't do his job, you know. I couldn't afford the pay cut.
No, exactly. My fee for this one show is more than what he gets for a year.
Oh, hang on.
Couldn't afford.
Oh, hang on. Oh, wow. Go on, Buckers. Good to see you in the chat room, buddy.
Oh, let's have a look.
You're okay.
Let's have a look. See what.
Send it into the group chat. Go on. Send it into the chat.
Oh, I tell you what. Give him a few more years. Give him a few more years, and he'll be getting this trim.
Hang on, share that over here. Let's have a look.
Yeah, share it in the group.
He's been spotted, hasn't he, the lad?
A couple of other things as well to shout about. Obviously, Adam Savada in the World Cup squad for the USA, and he had a pretty good weekend at the CDC. Two wins for him, beating Stowe Bunce in the final of event 1. And then in event 2, he beat Braden Hall in the final. So good stuff there. And Leonard Gates won the US Masters qualifier as well. So busy weekend for them over in the CDC. Never mind the group. You have a platform here. Let's have a quick look.
I could upload it into the back end and we put it on the screen.
Oh my God.
To be fair, there is There is just in front
dear.
of him, in direct line on the picture. There is just in front of him one of the balls on a cone, and I'm not sure which one's the ball on the cone and which one's the back of PDC.
I'll be lending him my polishing cloth next time we're in for the match play. I'll introduce him to my barber when I see him next.
Oh dear!
What you want to do, mate? Just add a bit on back there, please.
Yeah, quite possibly. But yeah, so there we go. Right. Oh dear. Millwall 0, Hull City 2 still. So that that game's done. Should we have 10 minutes of question time?
Question time.
We haven't done a question time properly.
This could get dangerous, couldn't it? 10 minutes of question time.
Yeah. Have you got darts questions or pretty much it? Oh my God, there's 13 minutes of added time.
Which game?
You Spurs Leeds.
Oh,
lights went out the stadium, apparently.
Someone said the
lights went out.
The lights went off. I missed that. I've got it on next to me here, but
someone's pulled the plug, haven't they?
Yeah, we must have been calling you a nonce at that point, and I missed that completely.
Yeah. Cheers for that, boys. Always good to be back in the saddle. It's like being on the fallout bar. This, I mean,
how would you know?
What?
You promised me to take a couple of fallout bars off my hands this season, and I had to still do them anyway.
Oh, that's a good question from Dave across the pond. I had the pair of them on Tuesday, across the pond and across the Pennines. I think it's a lovely little twosome, Dan and Dave. I have one.
They're both excellent, I've got to say.
One from across the pond and one from across the Pennines. But
what you do if you Dan, what you do in your spare time with the twosome is up to you.
What I do in my spare time is
different to what you do.
I think I think I could perhaps talk about it online. I'd have to put it behind a paywall. I think.
Favorite team to. I honestly think the Spanish at the minute with Cristian Reyes and Jose de Ciccio.
I'm going to say Hong Kong because I like a bit of I think they're an interesting team. They can cause a bit of an upset. We know we can get some levels off them. Japan as well. Hong Kong. I think we might see something from one of the Asian teams.
Yeah, I don't dislike that.
I've closed my list of who everyone is. Who did I like the look of? Yeah, I think Spain's right up there. I think that's a very good shout.
Got to say the USA with the way that
Spain, Hong Kong, USA, Japan. Japan's one that could have a little run as well. Sakai and Muramatsu.
We're here for a bit of the entrance music as always.
Absolutely, yeah. Japan. There we go. I'm having Japan as my outsiders.
Okay. How many Tom Bissell, Daryl Pilgrim, and Mike Koivenhoven keep their tour card?
One.
Let's have a look at the tour card race.
One of those three, I reckon, and I think that is Tom Bissell. I think Tom keeps his tour card. I think Daryl and Mike Koivenhoven are going to really struggle. But I've seen enough good things from Tom recently. That's the thing, is recent form. But one of the three is my guess. There are some decent players, again, right towards the bottom end. And did we imagine 2 or 3 years ago saying Dimitri Vandenberg sits outside of
madness?
Madness. Utter nonsense.
There's a few surprises there as well. Your mate Big Wes, I thought he would, when he got his card, I don't get me wrong, I didn't think he's going to be, solid top 16. But I genuinely thought what we've seen from him outside of the PDC, and when he gets a card, I thought this lad will hold a card. He'll sit somewhere between 45 and 60. Maybe 40 and 60. That he'll just hold a spot. But to see Big Wes,
he's not been in a room with me for a while though. That's the problem. And
no, he's lost his coach. This is the problem.
That's where you go downhill. Really, the more time you spend in a room with me, the better you get. And unfortunately, he's not seen me for a while.
That is not the case. That is not the case.
I find it a good exercise in just self-confidence. It makes me feel better about myself.
There you go. Absolutely. It's a service that I provide.
helps me look on the bright side. You know, you learn to value your own lot in life sometimes, don't you? But I genuinely, I didn't think Piers Wes would be there. Ryan Meikle's better than that. Cordecker, again, we've seen some mixed form just outside, but I do think Tom Bissell has enough to
agree with you on that.
Bridge that gap. But yeah, it will be very, very interesting to see Dimitri van den Berg in Q School. Genuinely such a short time after seeing him lift major trophies.
Yeah.
It really is a bit of a shock.
So another question then from Dave, which he says, who is our next first-time major winner? Well, right now you've got to say Wes, haven't you?
Well, this is the problem because
because he can't win a game on the big stage when the lights are on.
Well, it has to change. He can.
It doesn't have to change at all.
With the way, I'm sorry, mate. With the way he's playing, I'm sorry, he has to. Like, yes, Ian White made time. There were times where Ian White was brilliant and Justin Pike was brilliant, but they weren't at this consistent level. I think how many Players' Championships he won now in a year? Is that genuinely?
Well,
this is 7, isn't it?
These are the questions though that we asked. Like, for a long time, there was a stock answer. Like, who is the next player to win their first major TV event? And the answer to that, if you watch that, the answer was Dave Chisnall. For a lot of years, that was the answer.
Well, Michael Smith for a long time.
Yeah, Michael Smith was.
Well, really. And then, and then, if you ask me, for a long time after that, there was a handover period between Dave Chisnall, who handed over that to Damon Heta, and then I said Damon. Every time that question came around, I said it again, and I said Damon Heta. I said Josh Rock for a while, and said it'd be Josh Rock. Hang
on though. Has Rock actually won one?
No, not for me.
Okay.
No, I agree with you. When we're talking about it, regardless of the fact that I love the World Cup,
but it doesn't count.
It's not a singles. It's not a singles title. We're only talking singles titles here.
The last three that I've sort of stuck with for a while, like they've handed the baton to each other, and I'm not sure who comes next. I don't know whether I still think it's Josh Rock. Maybe.
I think potentially. I think he's in the conversation.
If it's not Josh Rock, I could lean towards. There's a couple of the European lads that I think look really, really strong. Dutz is incredible.
Yeah.
Neil Zonneveld has produced some outrageous starts this year, like really high level against the very, very best players as well. He's not.
Yeah, I think that's been there for a while, and we're finally seeing it, which is good to see.
James has said here that if we're talking ranked, Bunting hasn't won one, but we have to talk it as non-ranked.
I was about to make that point before he said that in the fact that when he won that was not a ranked event, and it's still loosely a major anyway.
Does that mean then that Chris Dobie has never won one?
Well, that would make my other point, and I didn't want to upset Dan, so I didn't say
Absolutely right.
It counts.
I think as much as he doesn't actually give that much of a shit, I still think Ryan Searle's definitely got one in him.
Oh, agreed. If he can get back to the form. Oh my God, please! Oh, sorry. Generally, they just hit the bar.
I've just seen that. Yeah, they've just hit the post and the bar. I think that.
Oh my God! How did that not go in?
Who else might we put in that list that's capable? Luke Woodhouse. Luke Woodhouse could quite easily go and win something. Shindy on his day.
I think it's been and gone. That
maybe.
I honestly think it's been and gone. I think, honestly, there was a spell of time when, German darts, I thought, when Clemens made that semi-final, and then Schindler was pushing through, and there was and you just thought, oh, hang on a minute, this could be a real moment here in German darts. I think they could be, and I thought Schindler was the next big hope, and I think he's sort of under-delivered
when he won that Euro Tour and that whole event and the excitement, winning the Euro Tour at home, you kind of thought he was
again,
even one to sort of kick on at that point.
Looking further down that the German field, like Pietrasco, we've seen he's really
Dirk's
struggling.
not a bad shout. Dirk could certainly go and win one. He's definitely playing a bit better now.
Right. We'll have to go because it's 10 o'clock and it is the end of the show. Daniel, thank you very much as always. I'll see you on Thursday.
You
Cameron,
will.
I will speak to you on. Yeah, I'll speak to you on Wednesday, and I'll see you Thursday. Thank you for stepping into Philip's shoes. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed to everybody as well.
It'd be his flip flops, wouldn't it?
That's a
he never wears shoes. I've never seen the man in shoes. He's always in sliders.
He is, absolutely. Thank you very much to everyone who's been with us in the chat room as well. Thank you as well if you're listening to this back as an audio-only podcast. Will be available very, very soon once Phil gets back as well. Time to mark your card then for this week. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Phil will be with you for the Pro Tour live stream. Make sure that you join him here on the channel. He'll also be with you on Wednesday and on Thursday at 7 o'clock because he will be here live streaming the Premier League World Watch Along. There isn't a Euro Tour this weekend, so he will have the weekend off. Well, he never does, but that's another issue. And then we'll be back next Monday, 8 o'clock GMT, or BST, I should say, actually, British time, British summer time, for the live lounge next week. Thanks again for your company. But on behalf of all of us, thanks again for your time. Hope you had a great week, and we hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and we will see you very, very, very soon. Take care. See you in a bit. Bye.
Going in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Jolliffe. Thanks for being in the Barney Army.